One of the main reasons why most people fail to understand debt is due to the traditional educational system. Schools do not teach people to understand the language of money, which turns them into job seekers. When you are in a job, there is no way to use debt to reduce the taxes you pay. However, the wealthy, whether they are big or small business owners, use interest debt to reduce their profit, and therefore pay fewer taxes. There are good debts and bad debts. If you have bad debts, it is best to get rid of them as quickly as possible. Credit card debt is an example of bad debt, especially if you are a compulsive shopper. Student debt can also be bad debt unless you are 100% committed to graduating and have a job that pays enough to cover the debt payments. So, what is good debt? Good debt in terms of cash flow brings money into your pocket, while bad debt takes money out of your pocket. Financial experts call it good debt for a reason. It helps you make more money. This simply means that you need to invest money to make more money. But how do you get the money in the first place? I call it other people's money, or OPM, other people's money. You can understand cash flow in the following way. If you have a house, it is not an asset. It is a liability. This is because even without debt payments, you need to spend money on taxes, repairs, maintenance, and more without receiving money in return. However, if you invest in real estate and rent out the property, you receive a cash flow, making it an asset. This cash flow should exceed debt payments and other expenses. This way, you will have money coming in instead of going out. The same applies to a car or a boat. While most boats lose money, boats that are rented or invested in generate income. The investment covers the original debt, still leaving you with some money. Once you have more money to invest, you can expand your portfolio to multiple properties and live off the cash flow without needing to work for a salary. Conclusion is that not all debt is bad. You need to manage it carefully, know how to use it, and keep an eye on cash flow. Minimize your taxes. Taxes represent an outflow of money and leave you with less money available to use as you wish. But is there a way to avoid paying taxes? I am not suggesting tax evasion. I am suggesting tax savings, and there's a big difference between the two. Tax evasion is illegal. It means you do not pay the taxes you owe. Tax savings is legal, reducing the amount of taxes you owe in the first place, so you pay less. To explain this, first, you need to understand the three types of income: ordinary income, salary, portfolio income, business and investment income, and passive income, business income. Ordinary income is the most taxed due to the lack of tax benefit. Portfolio income is taxed at the highest level. Passive income is taxed at the lowest, thanks to the many tax exemptions allowed by the government. The largest tax exemption to reduce taxable income is the payment of interest on debts. While most people understand debt in one way, I need to highlight a lesser-known truth about debt. One of the main reasons why most people fail to understand debt is due to the traditional educational system. Schools do not teach people to understand the language of money, which turns them into job seekers. When you are in a job, there is no way to use debt to reduce the taxes you pay. However, the wealthy, whether they are big or small business owners, use interest debt to reduce their profit and, therefore, pay fewer taxes. They can pay up front, they have the money, but they still pay interest just to take advantage of the tax exemption. You may wonder why leave the security of a job, take the risk of starting a business. The answer is that the job market is shrinking every second. With autonomous vehicles and artificial intelligence, most jobs are becoming obsolete. With fewer and fewer jobs available, it is time to enter the business world and exercise your brain. I am an inspiration to many people for a reason. I do not limit myself to ways of thinking that no longer work. I am always updating myself with the present and the future. I have a secret mantra. Ask questions. I encourage you to do the same. Instead of following the traditional path, which usually means going to school, getting good grades, securing a steady job, working hard, eliminating debt, and investing in the stock market, you should consider something more suited to an entrepreneurial mindset. This traditional route can be effective for many who don't have an entrepreneurial spirit. But if you're someone who thinks outside the box, the approach is different. Question everything and follow what truly resonates with you. The world is evolving rapidly, and failing to question the conventional ways can be a mistake, especially with a job market that's shrinking. By looking beyond your immediate surroundings, you'll find opportunities in unexpected places. We live in a globalized world, so there's no need to limit our opportunities to what's available in our own country. We all have access to smartphones and the internet. Are we truly using these tools to our advantage? Most people underestimate the potential of their phones. They allow us to connect with anyone around the globe. Imagine offering your skills from a low-cost country while earning a salary from a higher-paying nation. The key is to explore these possibilities and leverage technology to your benefit. Imagine that the average American earns $50 per hour, but you can do the same job for just $5 per hour. This means that employers from all over will come to you. $5 per hour is significantly more than the $1 you would earn in your own country, leaving you with a salary sufficient to start many other passive income sources. All it takes is investing some initial time and effort to establish yourself and continue learning new skills people are willing to pay for. Don't be afraid to make mistakes. Many people see mistakes as something negative, but for an entrepreneur, making mistakes and learning from them is key to becoming wealthy. Another crucial point is understanding that mistakes are not bad and that failing is not an option. A baby learns to walk by getting up and falling down again. Similarly, no business becomes profitable overnight. It is only after entering the business and making your own mistakes you learn what works and what doesn't. We have countless inspiring examples around us. Jeff Bezos once admitted that he had no idea what he was doing when he started Amazon. SpaceX, founded by Elon Musk, failed in 3 launches before succeeding on the 4th. I encourage you to learn from these examples. Making mistakes is the only way to learn how to play the game and to take big risks with confidence. When you venture into something new, it's inevitable to make mistakes. But the real issue arises if you don't learn from them. Making a mistake once might not have major consequences, but if you repeat the same mistake over and over, you'll end up falling behind. Even before money existed, people exchanged value directly, trading goods and services with each other. For instance, if you had a box of rice and I had a pair of shoes, we could trade them directly without using money. However, if someone wanted to buy a dress, for example, it was challenging to find someone who had what they wanted and was willing to trade for something they had. That's why money was created to facilitate exchanges. With the introduction of money, the concept of perceived value emerged, which we still use every day. Money has value because, as humans, we perceive it as valuable, perhaps due to its limited supply. When we value something more, we are willing to pay more for it. This is where the difference between entrepreneurial thinking and employee thinking comes in. Employees seek money, while entrepreneurs seek to create value. So if we want to get rich quickly, we need to focus more on how we can create value rather than just chasing more money. Identifying pain points and offering solutions to these problems is the key to attracting people. We need to identify problems that need to be solved and find ways to address them. This is how we end up creating value. Most successful entrepreneurs have done just that, developing billion-dollar solutions to significant real-world problems. The bigger the problem we solve, the more value we create, and the more value we create, the more money we earn. I assert that there is no single, correct investment strategy. Our approach must adapt to the ever-changing times, especially during uncertain economic phases, such as the post-pandemic world we live in. Understanding the global economy is crucial, and our financial decisions must evolve along with the evolution of money. Initially, money was backed by gold, but then the US dollar became the global reserve currency. In 1971, President Richard Nixon completely removed the gold convertibility. The world entered a fully fiat reserve system. This inflated the US dollar and made it the strongest reserve currency in the world. People who held US dollars became much wealthier overnight. According to economists, the global economy undergoes drastic changes every 50 years. Knowing this helps us make the right investment decisions at the right time. After the pandemic, global economy is undergoing a recessionary shift. Many investors are channeling their money into safe assets like gold to avoid value erosion. Enough investors decide they want physical gold and begin requesting it, we could see a remarkable increase in gold prices. Until now, our financial decisions should be focused on protecting our wealth in safe assets, rather than investing in riskier assets, the stock market. Debt is often considered a double-edged sword. It can make you extremely rich, but can also lead to ruin. I want to show you how the wealthy use debt, increase their wealth, how it can be a powerful force driving all your dreams and efforts. The history of debt is not new. It dates back to the 19th century when John D. Rockefeller began his business with a small amount of borrowed money. Rockefeller was not born wealthy. He was the son of a farmer and a regular school attendee. He became the richest American in history, surpassing Jeff Bezos, Bill Gates, and Elon Musk combined. Rockefeller was not an exceptional student. In fact, the school did not prepare him to understand money. He started his career as an accounting assistant and learned about the business world practically. He realized he could generate significant wealth with modest initial capital, starting a small agricultural commodities trading business with just $1,000 borrowed from his father. This was his first experience with debt, but it provided a solid foundation for his business. Within 2 years, he was generating profits of $17,000. At that time, the oil industry was booming, and Rockefeller brought innovation by using gasoline instead of oil to extract kerosene, resulting in a significant reduction in costs. These innovative techniques earned Rockefeller the trust of banks and suppliers, who began offering more favorable terms. He strategically used his money to acquire smaller competitors and create a monopoly in the oil industry. This monopoly allowed him to secure large discounts and transport oil at lower rates, further consolidating his fortune. By the 1870s, this son of a farmer had become a millionaire by age 31 with his company, Standard Oil, which refined 90% of the oil in the United States. What is most notable about Rockefeller was his practice of always paying his debts on time, but also his willingness to take on debt when he saw growth opportunities. Contrary to the common image of billion-dollar mansions, expensive cars, and luxurious vacations, a lesser-known fact is that the wealthy do not pay for all of this with their salaries. In 2021, Elon Musk revealed the secret behind his luxurious lifestyle in a tweet. "I don't have money. The only way I pay for personal expenses is by selling money." Musk does not receive a salary, but owns Tesla shares worth billions of dollars, which he does not sell. Instead, he uses these shares as collateral to secure loans and lives based on this debt. Debt provides Musk with dual benefits. First, it avoids paying taxes, as debt payments do not incur taxes, allowing him to diversify his money as he wishes. Second, by not selling his Tesla shares, he avoids paying capital gains taxes. Musk uses his business as collateral to obtain loans known as secured lines of credit. If he takes out a loan with a 6% interest rate, he needs to ensure that Tesla's value increases by at least 6% to repay the debt. When he needs to pay off the debt, he takes out another loan using the same business as collateral and repays the first loan. This cycle allows Musk to maintain his desired lifestyle. The wealthy have a strong affinity for real estate, while ordinary people often struggle to buy a home. Surprisingly, they purchase multiple properties around the world, and despite having billions, they do not live in these houses alone. A notable example is Elon Musk, who spent $61 million to acquire 5 homes in California in 2018. The real estate game works like this. Suppose you find a property worth $1 million. You pay 80% of that amount with borrowed money and 20% with your own investment. If the net income from the property exceeds the costs, you can rent it out without investing any more of your own money. This strategy allows the wealthy to expand their real estate portfolio and increase their wealth, while also avoiding taxes on that income. This is because you can adjust the depreciation on the property each year. Depreciation is not a real cash expense but a presumed devaluation that represents the rental cost you are legally allowed to deduct from your income. In the United States, the wealthy do not mix their personal finances with their investments. When Elon Musk decided to acquire Twitter, he invested $13 billion, even with a net worth close to $200 billion. This might seem counterintuitive to some, as with a net worth of $250 billion, spending $13 billion might seem safe. However, there was careful consideration before investing that money. These investments are known as leveraged buyouts, LBOs. In an LBO, the invested money is secured by the assets of the acquired company, which, in this case, was Twitter. Thus, investors inject money with the expectation that the acquired company will be profitable and that its future cash flows will cover the investment. Musk acquired Twitter not only as another profitable business, but also as a means to promote social change and ensure freedom of speech. However, this also means that Musk has his doubts about Twitter's profitability. Thus, using debt makes even more sense. If Twitter turns out to be profitable, Elon will benefit significantly. On the other hand, if Twitter fails, Musk's risk is limited to the equity he holds in the company. Investors cannot demand that Elon personally repay the debt. They can only recover their investment by selling Twitter's assets. Only time will tell if these assets will be sufficient to cover the entire debt. By investing this amount, Musk ensured that his personal assets were protected and that all his businesses maintained their separate legal entities. Investors cannot force Elon to sell his Tesla shares worth $94 billion, and he can continue to live his luxurious life. The wealthy prefer to acquire assets and hold them for life, valuing the transfer of these assets to future generations. They understand that the value of these assets is likely to grow, so they prefer to keep their families debt-free. However, this does not mean they would pass up any multi-billion-dollar investment opportunity that arises. While their own resources are tied up in assets and not liquid, they generate liquidity through debt and seize lucrative business opportunities. In April 2023, Mukesh Ambani, chairman of Reliance Industries, paid the largest corporate tax in Indian history. Mr. Ambani disbursed a staggering $5.5 billion to accelerate the rollout of 5G technology in the country. However, this $5.5 billion represents only a small fraction of his total net worth of $82 billion. Ambani owns the Antilia residence, valued at $2 billion, and properties around the world. By combining just a few of these properties, he could have easily financed the 5G implementation without resorting to debt. Instead, he chose to pay the tax, as he wanted to leave a lasting legacy for his 3 children, Ash, Anant, and Isha. With the potential to represent 2% of India's GDP by 2030, the 5G rollout could lead to an economic growth of up to $180 billion. No one understands this strategy better than the telecommunications giant, Mr. Ambani. Thus, giving up such a significant opportunity due to a lack of liquidity would not be expected from him. He chose to pay now and reap the benefits of 5G in the future, rather than allowing other telecom companies to capture the market. In 2012, when Mark Zuckerberg bought a house, he secured a property tax rate of just 1.05%, while the average rate at the time was 2.76%. You're wondering why Zuckerberg received such a low tax rate? It's important to know that the house cost $15.6 billion at the time, and the banks had no doubts about his ability to repay. Due to the low risk associated with Zuckerberg's income, banks were able to offer him a reduced tax rate. It is well known that the higher the dollar or credit value, the lower the tax rate you can receive. However, many people forget to analyze the details of Zuckerberg's deal. First, he moved into the house he loved immediately and continues to live there until he feels comfortable. Second, he invested his own money in more substantial ventures, ensuring significant profits even after paying off debt interest. Third, he spread the property tax payments over more than 30 years, meaning the real cost of these payments is only a fraction of the current value due to inflation. By not locking up his capital, he capitalized on high return opportunities, deferred expenses, and reduced his costs to an inflation-adjusted fraction. Subscribe for more personal finance videos, turn on notifications, and give a like to support the channel. Thank you for watching. Share this video with your friends. We always support you in investing your money. God bless. See you next time. Goodbye.